Joining us now from the Fargo Davies Eagles, she is Ashton Safranski, part of the 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star Basketball Series. And for you, Ashton, what does it mean to get nominated your senior year to an All-Star game like this in North Dakota?
Yeah, it means a lot. I'm super excited to get to play with like girls that I've played against, I feel like for my whole career or whatever. And my mom obviously played in it and so did my sister. So to also get to play in that's really cool.
Yeah, to kind of add on to that legacy a little bit, and your mom is also coaching in it as well. So how much does that just become kind of a full circle moment one more time for you to kind of cap off your high school career?
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun getting to play for her one more time.
And for you, Ashton, when you saw the rosters that kind of came out, was there a particular player or two that you're like, all right, finally, I don't have to guard you. You don't have to worry about anything else. Was there a couple players when you saw the roster that you're excited to have an opportunity, and who might they be that you're excited to have on your team?
Yeah, honestly, everybody I'm super excited to play with. Jossie, not having to guard her, getting to play with her. And there's just so many great girls from the East and the West that I've known for forever, playing them in like little kids travel ball and finally getting to play on a team with them is gonna be a lot of fun.
Favorite couple basketball memories? I know winning a state title probably has to be right up there, but what's kind of 1A, 1B, 1C, if you will, Ashton, just kind of during your career for basketball, favorite memories that come to mind?
Honestly, tournament time, I feel like all years. I think that's like the most time where you get to hang out. You're like Thursday, Friday, Saturday with your team the whole time, staying in hotel rooms. And yeah, that's just always the favorite time of the year.
Then you kind of moving forward, you're heading to MSUM coming up in the fall. What is your plans for kind of business? School is what you kind of decided with. But from this standpoint, from basketball player, what do you hope to gain from an experience like this, Ashton, for 4 or 5 days, a week of basketball against some of the best in the state? What do you hope to kind of gain from this particular event before you kind of get to the college side of things?
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be good competition, a good game, and just like getting better each day, having fun with the teammates, and carry it over into college.
As you take a look at back at Fargo Davies, what's a high school class or two that you enjoyed the most learning about, or what's a subject that you enjoyed most at Fargo Davies?
Hmm. Probably my business classes. I feel like I've always had like a bunch of friends, and then we also have a school store, and so I've worked the school store, and that's been a lot of fun. So I enjoy that class.
Did you have any certain pregame rituals that you guys had to do on your route to state, or was it let's just get to the opening tip? So if there was some pregame rituals, Ashton, kind of what were they?
We stopped at Jimmy John's Thursday for lunch, and then a couple of us also ran. There was a Starbucks like in the parking lot of our hotel, kind of. So went there, and then obviously won the first day. So then we're like, gotta go back to Jimmy John's. Won the second day, and the third day we were all like, gosh, like I cannot eat another Jimmy John's sandwich, but we just had to, and so then got Jimmy John's, Starbucks again the next 2 days, and now didn't eat Jimmy John's for like a month later because we were so sick of it. Had Jimmy John's each day of state.
Yeah, did you have the same thing, or did you kind of spruce it up a little bit to get you through?
Nope, had the same turkey tom.
And then as you kind of take a look ahead, if someone's asking you to, what does it take to be an all conference kind of a player or someone who has a chance to play at the next level here, Ashton, what will be some words of advice for the next generation coming up for an opportunity for what they might have a chance to do, later in their careers?
Yeah, I would just say, if you have goals for yourself, just work hard and enjoy it. Enjoy like working hard and getting better each day, and you'll reach your goals.
And last thing, Ashton, for you guys to win the first state championship, what does it mean to kind of continue to leave a legacy with a really good senior class, but also having a chance to play in the Lions All-Star Basketball Series? There's been a number of, as you mentioned before, girls who've came before you wearing that, Eagles logo, having a chance to play. But what does it mean this year to continue that tradition moving forward for you with just that basketball program?
Yeah, it's so special. Um, just getting to do it with the teammate with my teammates and just finally getting to say like, state champions in basketball is just such a nice thing to say.
Ashton, congratulations again on the state championship and congratulations on being nominated to Lions All-Star Basketball Series.
Thank you.
Joining us now as part of our 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star Basketball Player Profile. He is Lucas Kupfer here from Bismarck Legacy. Lucas, for you particularly, to be nominated to an event like this in North Dakota, this particular All-Star game, what does it mean for you?
I mean, it's really cool. I've always watched it and seen it, and it just looks like so much fun. And I think it'll just be fun to play with new people I've never played with, and just meet new people and just have fun with them.
You mentioned about some of the players when you got to see the rosters that was announced on the AA team. Was there anyone in particular that's maybe a high school rival or someone through travel ball that you're excited to have on your team for a couple nights?
I mean, there's Logan Conklin against Minot. We've always had a pretty good rivalry against them. Isaiah Schaefer, we've always Legacy Century. It's always a big rivalry. It'll be fun to be able to play with him.
As you kind of move ahead, once this is kind of like the, if you will, the swan song of your high school career before you head off to college here, Lucas. So what's your plans coming up here in the fall?
I'm going to UMary for track, and then I'm going into business finance.
What made you marry the right fit for track, but also from the academic side with that business degree here, Lucas, for you?
I went to the school, got a visit, and it's just a really nice campus. And then I also visited when they had a practice, and just the vibes there. It just looked great.
For you, whether it's basketball or any other sport, what's a favorite sports memory that comes to mind for you? What's one or two that kind of stand up there at this point for you here, Lucas?
I'd say going to WDA qualifier, beating Mandan both times this year and last year. It was just one of the most fun times of my life.
For you a little bit here, when you take a look, 4 or 5 years ago to where you were to where you're at now, with someone sitting in your shoes, what be some words of advice or wisdom that you would like to pass down here, Lucas, as someone who maybe one wants to be a college athlete someday, or two play in an all-star game like this in North Dakota?
I would just say, just keep putting the effort in. The effort will always pay off. Just keep grinding, and it'll pay off once you get there.
Best class. What was one class that you enjoyed most at Bismarck Legacy?
Um, I would say I like I have a bunch of marketing classes. I would say those are really fun to do. The teacher's good, and it's like fun. I like learning that stuff.
And for you, were you superstitious at all before track or before a basketball game? Did you have like a pregame meal or a particular ritual that you had to do, Lucas, at all?
Um, I didn't really have much rituals, but almost all the Bismarck Mandan games, I would go to Poncheros and get a bowl before the games.
All right, what kind of Pancheros bowl we talking about? What are you all throwing in there?
Steak, rice, queso, lettuce, guac, corn. I think that's all. It's pretty good.
And then what do you hope to take from your coaches, moving forward to college? What are some things, whether it's on the track, on the court, so to speak, that you learned that you're hoping to take with you, once you kind of get to University of Mary?
Just even if coaches are always trying to get you better, just don't take things to heart. They're they love you no matter what happens. They're just trying to get you better.
Final thing for you, Lucas, Bismarck Legacy, to be nominated here, the Sabres. Where have you seen that program grow from the basketball standpoint in the last couple of years, from your particular point of view?
I think it's grown a lot. Last year we made state, so we got back to state this year. Making it 2 times in a row is pretty hard, so I think it's just going to keep growing from here.
Lucas, thanks so much for your time and best of luck moving forward at the University of Mary and here in the Lions All-Star basketball game.
Thank you.
Part of our 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star Basketball preview with our player profile, brought to you in part by the Hillsboro EDC. She is Jersey Berg from Bismarck High. Jersey, let's start there. What does it mean for you to get nominated to an All-Star game like this in North Dakota?
Yeah, obviously huge. I mean, my dad, he was the Lions All-Star, so that means a lot just for the family, too, to do something that my dad did, too. It's cool to be able to play with people I usually have to play against, and kind of relief, too. I don't want to play against them anymore. They're too good. But, yeah, so it's a big deal for me. There's a lot of history, and I'm excited. It's always been a dream of mine. When I was little, I'd go watch these games all the time, and now I get to play in one. It means so much to me.
You mentioned the dad factor, the family factor with that. At what point did you think that, hey, you know what? I think I can play in something similar to what my dad did. At what age group were you kind of Jersey going, I think, basketball, this is something I want to do. And this is, a goal of mine to try to maybe get to, something like this.
Yeah, obviously my dad's career, I mean, that's hard to beat. I knew I wasn't going to be exactly who my dad was, but that's always been a goal. And my dad's been my biggest inspiration too. So I guess it wasn't like I knew I was going to do this. It was like what I wanted to work towards, I'd say, more so than, oh, I know I'm on my dad's level, because I'm not on my dad's level. But like, I just wanted to do as much as I could that would kind of reflect his career too, because I've just always looked up to it so much more than anyone else.
You've had a couple of Bismarck High Demons who've been able to play in this particular event in the last few years as well. What does it mean to also have a teammate or two be nominated with you this final hurrah, so to speak, with your high school career?
Yeah, so I mean, the last couple of years, people have been nominated from BHS. That's so cool too, to know that I've played with girls who are good enough to be playing at that level with all the best players in North Dakota. And this year, playing with two more of them. I mean, it's amazing, especially to have a 3-on-1 team. That just means a lot to the program too. And we also get to play at BHS one more time, so that's super exciting too. You know, senior night wasn't our last night, so that's really exciting too. I'm just looking forward to it. You know, one more time at BHS, one more time with those teammates, which is sad, but I'm gonna enjoy it as long as I can.
When you saw the rosters get announced, was there a particular athlete or someone who you had to guard or someone from travel ball that you never officially had on your team for school ball jersey? Was there someone that you said, one or two players, you're like, all right, finally you're on my side for a change?
Well, from the West, I mean, I pretty much played with every single person from the West, so I'm obviously excited to get back with them. But the East, I mean, Jossie Schiller, she's unreal. And I remember playing against her like earlier this season, and she did this crazy like spin move thing, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, in the game, I was like, Jossie, that was so nice. I'm not even gonna lie. So just that. And then obviously Carly Franks, Ashton, Safranski, I mean, they're amazing too. Playing against them in the state title game, that was crazy. They're such talented players. And watching the semifinal game against Red River, I mean, Jossie, Ashton, Carly, they all had crazy games. So I'm excited to play with them. And then there's some girls I don't know too well from the East, but I'm excited to meet them, you know, hopefully grow some friendships. But yeah.
From there, you know, basketball, softball, any sport that you kind of grew up, Jersey, what's a favorite sports memory or two that comes to mind, whether you were a fan, a player, or just something in between?
Yeah, well, for softball, obviously, I mean, favorite, my sophomore year, we won state, so that's obviously a top memory for me. But basketball, I'd say this whole senior year has just been so unreal. I can honestly say, like, I've never been closer to a team in my life. And still now we hang out. I think this weekend we're watching a movie at my house. Like, it's going to be awesome. And then, like, I remember we go to Chick-fil-A, like, the night before, like, every game, which is so unhealthy. But, you know, we needed that team bonding. And then we'd, like, watch movies at my house every weekend during the season. And it's just crazy. Like, I think that was part of our success a lot, because a lot of people didn't think, you know, we had the best talent. And, you know, maybe that's true, but I think the way we helped each other and we're always there for each other, like, allowed for us to be comfortable on the court. And that's what I love the most. And it's my favorite memory, just always being with the team all the time. Yeah, just my whole senior season has been the best time of my life.
Kind of goes into the next question. Was Chick-fil-A like a ritual? Was that like something you had to do? You know, I always ask players, you have to put the left shoe on before the right or listen to a certain song. Did you know, Chick-fil-A become like a pre-game ritual a little bit, Jersey, along the way?
I mean, definitely a little bit. I know me and Paige would be like, oh, well, we beat this team, so now we have to eat it the next game or whatever. But then we'd play bad and we'd be like, we're not getting Chick-fil-A this time. So there was a couple times where we didn't get Chick-fil-A, but we can't say no to Chick-fil-A most of the time. So it wasn't necessarily like a superstition, but there were games where we played really good and we're like, oh, we had Chick-fil-A the night before, you know, so then we'd get it again. But
From this point, Jersey, when you take a look at, you know, where you were at 13, 14 years old, or someone who's, you know, at that age wanting to make a mark on the program, trying to get to the varsity level, what would be some words of advice for someone who wants to be an all-stater or all-conference or play in an all-star game like this, like you are, Jersey? What would be some words of advice from your own journey that you'd like to pass down?
yeah, I would say you got to work so hard to where you don't have regrets. I know right now I obviously have regrets. Like, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. And that's going to happen all the time. But if you work as hard as you can, there's not much you can regret. There's very little you can regret. And that's kind of my whole mindset, is like, if you work as hard as you possibly can all the time in everything you do, you can't regret too much. And like, that's the worst feeling, is regretting something, knowing you could have done something better. And that's what sucks. But if you work as hard as you can, you're like, oh, I did what I could. And it just, maybe this was an off day. Maybe it just wasn't your day. But as long as you tried as hard as you can, there's little you can regret. So that's mainly my advice. And be a good teammate always. You know, treat everyone as your friend, because they are all your friend. And in the end, they're going to be who's there for you, your teammates. They're always going to be there. They're built-in family, basically.
And the one thing on top of that too, you know, moving forward, we recorded this interview, you're undecided in terms of where you're going, but you know you want to play collegiate basketball, collegiate softball. What made those two sports be two sports that you really enjoyed and wanted to have a chance to play at the next level here, Jersey?
Yeah, well, right now those are the only sports I'm doing. So yeah, but I used to I used to play a bunch of sports, and I stuck with softball because I love the defensive aspect of softball. I love the team aspect. I think softball is more of like a social sport, which kind of sounds bad, but I think with softball I'm gonna have such a good built-in family too there. Same with basketball, and I love basketball because of how hard I get to work and stuff like that, and I love softball because of the team aspect and how supportive people are of each other. And so once I started, talking to colleges, all that stuff, I wanted to play basketball for sure. Like that was my number one. Like I want to play basketball. But from my experience, my sophomore year of softball and my whole high school experience through softball and like my travel team and stuff like that, I realized like I can't not play softball. And that's another thing I wanna play as many sports as I can for as long as I can because you don't get to play organized sports forever. And I'm grateful for what I have right now, but I'm hoping I can keep it going. So yeah.
Final thing for you, Jersey. What do you hope to take from your coaches that you've learned, moving to that next level? What's one thing on the field, so to speak, on the court or even off the court that you hope to take with you once you get to your classes or just, the next chapter in life?
Well, for me, I think the best thing a coach can give you is not advice, anything like that. It's just them believing in you. And I can honestly say every single coach I've had has believed in me. And that's such a big thing for me that's going to allow me to succeed in life. And it's allowed for me to get better as a player, better as a person, just knowing that they're there for me and they believe in me and they expect a lot from me. Like they'll yell at me, all this stuff, but it's because they believe in me and I got to keep that in mind. But that's like the main thing here is like I need to believe in all my teammates, all my friends, else they're not going to feel that. Like I need to reciprocate energy I get from my coaches and give it to all my teammates, and that's how they're going to succeed, and that's how I'm going to succeed more, is just spreading that energy all around the team. And that's my main thing with coaches, is just like a belief thing. I'm not going to agree with everything my coaches think, but I'm going to listen to them because I know they believe in me and I know this is what they think is best for the team. So I'm going to do whatever they want me to do, really.
Jersey, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck moving forward, and we'll see you at the Lions All-Star basketball game.
Thank you for having me.
Join us now, part of the 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star Basketball Series from Fargo North. He is David Shilling joining us here. And David, for you to get nominated to an All-Star game like this, what does it mean for you here in North Dakota?
I've always dreamed about playing in an all-star game. It's been a dream of mine since I was really young, so it really is very special.
And to cap it off too, you got your coach and Travis Hogue and a fellow teammate with Carter Zeller. What does it mean to have a couple extra Spartans join you for the ride one more time?
It means a lot. I've been playing with Carter since like third grade, so it'll be fun to play with him one last time.
What's something that you learned from Travis Hogue or just learned from your coaching staff in general that you hope to take with you to your next chapter in life?
Just to get better every day, get 1% better every day, and never to be down on yourself when you're in a slum.
From the roster that came out, I know there's been one or two changes just along the way, but when you saw the roster come out, was there a particular player or two in general that you were excited to have on your squad that you didn't have to guard, or someone from the West that you're excited to have on your team here, David?
Yeah, Dalton Lamp. He's going to BSC as well, so I'm excited to play with him for the first time. I've gotten to play against him a couple of times, but never with him.
And you mentioned you're heading to BSC coming up, so just take us through why Bismarck State College was the right fit and what your kind of plans are going out to the capital city.
So I wanted to go and continue playing basketball, and like after the 2 years, I want to go somewhere else and play. I want to keep playing, but I just wanted to experience something new, and Bismarck is like the perfect place to do it.
Able to continue to play some hoops out there, and as you mentioned, a fellow teammate, so able to kind of hang out with Dalton Lamp a little bit, and then from there, what would be some words of advice, David, whether it's basketball or just a different sport, that someone who's a freshman and kind of chomping at the bit to kind of show their stripes at the varsity level in high school, be some words of advice or wisdom that you like to pass down for the next group of kids coming up?
Just always like off season, always just work hard. Every rep, game reps. That's the only way you're going to get better. If you slack off at all, you're not going to improve at all. So that's all I got to say.
Did you have a particular superstition before you kind of got to a basketball game, or was it let's just lace up the shoes and get to the opening tip?
Um, I always had to eat a Subway sandwich for sure. Um, and then if the C team played, my little brother played on it, so I went to go watch them. I always did that for the games.
Did you have the same sub sandwich, or did you mix it up depending on the result, kind of from the game before?
I mainly went with the Philly cheesesteak. That's my favorite sandwich out there. So
Yeah, can't go wrong with a good little Philly cheesesteak. And then from that standpoint,
or not.
David, favorite class at Fargo North. What was one class you really enjoyed during your time there for the Spartans?
Um, my stats class. It was just it's a fun class. It was easy to understand. And the teacher was great, Mr. Lehman. Shout out to him.
As you're taking a look here, David, kind of going into this, as you alluded to, you're going to play at the next level. So from a basketball standpoint, with some of the best players across the state, what do you look forward to most for the upcoming Lions All-Star Series? What do you like kind of looking to gain out of it from a basketball standpoint as it transitions you, from the high school ranks to college?
It'll be fun to play other college basketball players, potential college basketball players, and football players too. And it'll be fun to see how I stack up against them because I did play the whole year this year, but my junior year I didn't really get to experience the whole varsity level. So it'll be fun to see how I play against them.
Without question, going to be a lot of fun, that transition before you head off to BSC. David, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck being a Mystic moving forward, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.